10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Beastmaster.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Bounty Hunter.
Dire team pick.
Invoker.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Tundra versus Hellbear Smashers, our first Upper Division series of Dream League Season 15, powered by Intel. And of the 10 players that we saw in the teams last season, one is not who it was previous season. We have position 4 on the side of Tundra, no longer Biver, he retired officially, but we got a very good position 4. It's actually one of the NA boys, Snake King. Brian, you excited to see him play again?
Yeah, you know, they saw what happened in the major and they decided to do the reverse of what NA's been doing the last supporting. And, you know, they brought him in, and Snake King's a dope player. Like, the only issue he's really ever had on teams is that he's very vocal. He's very strong-willed, stubborn. As long as he has his ability to really take over the game plan for this team, like where Fada's more of like the strategist and then he's more the in-game shot calling, I think Snake King will have a good place on this team.
Because we know, obviously, Fada, 33-9 Skeeter, we don't know exactly how vocal they are. Maybe they wanted someone that was more vocal, right? Could that be? Because I think Fada and 33 are quite strong, at least outside of the game, but I'm not sure how strong they are inside of the game in terms of communication.
Yeah, they seem like the quieter type. If anything, they'd be willing to step down.
Yeah, because I think that's always been the assumption, but I think players have said before that 33 is actually pretty vocal in terms of making the calls and shot calling in these games. So, yeah, well, we'll see if the balance works out. I do think, you know, no discredit to Biver. I thought he was doing very well with the squad, but I do think, you know, Snake King is an upgrade. I think Snake King, just historically, some of the showings he's had on some of the teams, he's looked like that top tier star player. Back on, I think some of the runs with Team MP back in the sort of the Envy days. He was an incredibly strong showing. I think back then he was playing 3, right?
Yeah,
instead
he
of
was.
the 4. Obviously made the move, but definitely sort of strike me as a player that's going to have that solid idea of the game. There's also going to be a player that adapts good to and fast to new patches. You know, I can see Snake King coming in with some good approaches already in the 7.29.
Definitely. I do want to talk about what's on our screen because we do have the openings. We see a Bounty Hunter again. Invoker. I want to talk about Invoker. Exort Invoker seems to be a good thing now.
Yeah, I've been hearing mixed reviews from various Invoker players in chat. I haven't actually gotten the chance to talk to high-level Invokers yet, but they were talking about how you get all the stats.
Wait. You various Invoker players
in chat?
Do you mean Twitch chat?
Yeah.
You're
I'm talking in Twitch chat.
all right.
That's all I've got. I said I haven't got to talk to him.
What does Twitch chat think about Invoker?
What I was saying is I thought it was all buffs. I thought giving this hero stats and the ability to, like, now you pretty much gain benefit from all the orbs when you don't have them currently on. I thought that would be overall a buff to the hero. And a lot of people are saying, but he has less regen from Quas, so he's not going to be able to lane as well. So I'm under the impression that the hero is probably a bit more fragile in the laning stage. Maybe some of his worser matchups will be a bit more punishing, but other than that, it seems like he's just strictly better.
Well, if you are taking the analysis from Twitch chat, I will bring up a game that I have played myself.
Okay.
Where we had a position 4 Invoker.
Okay.
Exort. He crushed it. He was laning together with a Phoenix, so they had great synergy. Owen, you were in that game.
Yeah, I mean, you just get sort of the Yules online. Obviously, the new shard is all very pog. You know, you're throwing these meteors out.
All the meteors.
Boom.
Yeah.
Do all three hit the same target?
No. They're like
they split. So you're just covering a lot of ground. You know, if this hero doesn't have any escape or BKB, you can't really run anywhere. You know, you're going to be running in the path of one of them. So no, I'd be interested seeing. You know, for Hellbear Smashers, this was something that they were doing before. You know, Stormer. His best hero always pretty much gets banned out in the second phase by teams if they don't get it through in the first 2. So this is why we see Hellbear Smashers prioritize it as much as they do here. Interesting from Tundra, an early gyro pick, Brian. I mean, where's this hero sort of sitting at the moment?
Yeah, he's one of the range carries, or he's a 5. We did see a bit of 5 gyro towards the end of last patch, and I don't hate it now. I think nothing about the patch has really nerfed the 5-position gyro. As long as you have like you want to carry that fights in lane. It's something like a Troll Warlord, something like a Jug, something that wants to go for kills. Gyro 5 goes very well with it. So I think they're totally leaving it open. But the flat cannon buffs, it's back, I think, if they want to try carry.
Yeah, and as Owen said, Fada was one of the people that really liked it previous patch already. So it might just be that it's, you know, he feels also vindicated by some of the Chinese teams picking it last major. And he just wants to go for it again.
Beastmaster, Brian, as I was saying to you earlier, is this the meta? Is this good? You're picking Beastmaster, you're rushing Axe.
The thing for me is I thought people were going to rush like one small item, like even Solar Crest. Yeah, I say it's a small item. I personally think Solar Crest is like the most broken mid-gamey item right now. It's about 75% of the bonuses it used to give, and then you can just rush it because it's 2,600 gold. Yeah. So I think I would love to see something like that into the Axe, but yeah, the Axe is pretty insane. The fact that Axes are just about 75% of the mana cost, on top of the fact that you get the level 20 talent that you used to get once you get the Ags, the timing's pretty insane. You're definitely going in lane, though. That's the cool part, is that you just... Yeah, who needs micro when you can just max Axes? Spear Breaker, so maybe not so much a Gyro 5. I would imagine Spear Breaker Beastmaster's not a lane, unless Beastmaster's perhaps mid.
I mean, you're right. Yeah, with the change in Beastmaster with this Axe, maybe there is the potential to sort of run it in different positions.
I like the Phoenix pick. Egg is already a little bit protected with the Invoker.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that's always going to be nice with the Death Blast and. I mean, they're not the worst lineup for taking it down. I mean, Gyro's got a bit of range. Beastmaster's going to have a bit of attack speed to offer up the team. And they've still got 2 picks to deal with it. So definitely options for Tundra to go sort of down core routes that can hit the egg. Or run away from it. As Darkseer is going to come out. And, I mean, how is this working out as a Beastmaster mid? Right, like, how does this fit the best?
Yeah, it has to be, right? Unless it's a Beastmaster support, which sounds worse. I would be surprised if they rotated the Gyro out of this carry role. I think carry Gyro is really nice here. It's an early BKB buyer. You can hit the egg without jeopardizing the rest of your impact in the team fight, because you just pop flak, hit the egg, everyone else gets hit too. It's good follow-up to the rest of their team fight. It definitely looks like a Beastmaster mid to me.
Sure, because without a doubt, having the Darkseer Spirit Breaker is the lane to get.
Yeah.
How does Beastmaster do against Invoker, though? I mean, that seems like a rough lane.
I legit have no idea how it does now that they've reworked what he does as a hero. I have legit no idea.
Because is there any other option yet for Invoker doing anything but mid? Because they got now the Bounty and the Phoenix.
It's like I'd be very surprised.
If it was another team, I would be open-minded about it, but not with Hellbear Smashers.
It's
fair enough, yeah.
So they look like they think it's a core bounty because they're banning out the Oracle. Maybe they're just making sure the Darkseer lane gets off the ground running. Wraith King should have issues with this. You're a Wraith King, like you're a melee hero with weak level 1 through 3 and Spearbreaker Darkseer up in your face. Like as of now, they have no way to deter like these 2 Ion Shell heroes running at you. And they go for the Egg Protector in the last, but I actually really like these bans from Tundra. It's like, make sure you don't shut down our lane. And then we have the ability to kill your egg with our current heroes and just make it so our ranged core or support can bring it down. Mars being super obnoxious.
Yeah, they're leaving a lot open on the side of Tundra, whose goes where. I like it. Although Hellbear Smashers, of course, banning out some cores. Any other than Juggernaut they should be worried about? Any egg killers?
Yeah, Lifestealer might be worth that. People have been picking it. I don't know how good it is. I haven't gotten the chance to try it myself, but it's free damage. Whenever a hero gets free damage, especially when the hero used to hit like a wet noodle, it tends to be pretty impactful on the carry roll.
And it's a nice infest on the Spearbreaker to go in.
Oh, yeah. Delivery service.
Oh, yes. I mean, it does have a lot of potential. And if this is a 4 Spearbreaker, I'm sure we're going to see Snaking making some waves. And yeah, Lifestealer does get banned last here. So let's see what these picks are going to be. Because they have to reveal everything before Hellbear Smashers get to choose their last hero, so they can still have some chance to react to whatever is getting picked.
10 seconds remaining.
They still have a minute left for Tundra to go into their bonus time if they want as well. What do you think, Owen?
No, there's a lot of ways they can do it. As we say, we're not 100% where the Gyro or the Beastmaster go. There is some versatility. As we say, I think it's most like the Beastmaster is mid. Gyro is going to be farther on the 5, and then we are going to see this carry pick come through as last.
It's either going to be a melee support like ET. Yeah, it's the Troll. Troll and Jug, pretty much the 2 best carries to put with the Gyro. When he throws out the rocket, because that's pretty much his main impact in the laning stage, you just want a carry that can potentially throw some damage into the guy that's going to get stunned. And Troll, perfect hero to do it.
If you were only access, can you get rid of the Shadow Walk from Invoker? If you get the spell?
No.
Shadow Walk doesn't get the spell?
The Ghost
Walk.
Yeah, Ghost Walk. Yeah, both the forms of Invis coming out from Hellbears are not dispellable.
No. Is there any other Q plays you can do with that or no?
I mean, dispelling the Fire Spirits in the fight's going to be nice. Taking that off yourself.
True.
But yeah, we'll see if the Ags comes out.
Sure.
It always seems like there's a lot of games where like, well, the Ags could be good and then it's never really built. You know, and not until like the 5th or 6th item.
Yeah, you tend to either go at like Maelstrom Ags or you just don't go Ags.
Yeah.
Seems to be the options.
All right, you got the Dazzle. We
the core
forgot about that. Dazzle's been the hot hero in the pubs. It's the offlane Dazzle.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's great, right? The Shard, definitely one of the busted ones, right? You know, one of the downsides of this hero was that, you know, they removed the stun back in the day from having any sort of input on the poison touch. Now, well, hey, your stun's not back. You can have a Hex instead. So exciting stuff. Indeed, Nova on the side as expected. It is indeed 9 playing the Beastmaster and Fata playing the Gyrocopter.
I am very excited for also the Dazzle 15 talent. I think that is also broken. The extra heal when the grave ends. I think that's great. I love the Dazzle, but I'm not sure if I like the rest of the draft as much as I like the Dazzle. What are you thinking, Brian, for this first game of the series?
I'm just scared for their lanes. I think Troll Gyro might give Dazzle a really hard time, and I do think the Wraith King's gonna have a tough time too. So if they lose both side lanes, I don't see much chance for them this game.
No, how about you, Owen?
Yeah, I've got to agree, Brian. I think the draft here from Tundra is just a little too aggressive for I feel the heroes of Hellbear Smashers to really deal with. This Spirit Breaker, Darkseer is just going to come running at them. I think the bounty early pick did get kind of punished by the way they're going to play and the fact that they're going to be just as happy to run straight into them. And honestly, I believe last season as well, I don't think it lost a game, or if it did, it was a very high win rate. The Fada support jar was something that he was brilliant with.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be great with it again. Yeah, so I think, yeah, Tundra's going to take this.
All right, well, let's find out what's going to happen in this first game of the series. I'm going to pass you over to our commentary team of Cap.
Thank you very much, Cheever. Hey, real quick question for you guys. How quickly did Brian pick up the mid Beastmaster? Yeah? Okay.
Brian's typically pretty quick.
I mean, were you listening to me earlier, Brian?
Barely ever.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so. I'm sitting next to Brian. He's playing Hearthstone. I'm doing my research. I'm trying to tell him, like, dude, Nine's playing mid Beastmaster in his pubs.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what they're going to be going for here. I see Beastmaster. I'm like, they're doing mid Beastmaster. And Brian's going to call it out because I told him about it. He wasn't listening to me, Kyle.
I was very clear with Sheeves, too. I said, remember to introduce us as Kyle and Cap. And she bumbled that as well.
No, she's doing an alphabetical.
That's not what we agreed upon when we decided to this cast. It was about order of importance.
Yeah, Cap and Kyle.
It does sound better, to be fair.
It also sounds like a person. Captain Kyle.
Captain, well,
a pirate. All right, let's get into the game, shall we?
He's more of a lieutenant.
That's not right.
I am looking forward to this. I thought Owen did a good job of talking about this series when he first started. Like, I'm excited as well. I think Owen did very well in that fact. I want to be able to see how these lower division teams actually match up.
Yep.
Or are they just going to be automatically bottom two, or are they going to be able to put up enough of a fight that we're going to see potentially them stay in the upper division? And I feel like that may be a hard task for many of the regions, and especially here in the, I guess, the third best region.
It's the best in our hearts. I think if there's anybody that can get a team to that next level, similar to how Fata and Tundra found success, I think Rasmus has played this game long enough that, you know, he's won a major. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. He might be old, he might be bald, but he's gonna show you.
Tundra, they've stumbled in with a Hellbear smash.
There you go.
Easy first blood. The boys just sit on top of their triangles, 5-man, and wait, Kyle. That part of the meta hasn't changed.
No, it has not. And I love the drafts coming out from these sides. We saw Bounty Hunter. This hero's going to be first, too, all day in this region. This is a hero we're going to see a lot of. And then the Darkseer Spirit Breaker. From Tundra. I think this is, you know, the debut of Snaking as well. Traveled across the pond to participate. One of the more underrated 4-3 positions. There's MSS and there's Snaking. I think that both are known to kind of swap back and forth between roles that play the offlane, but he's been underrated for some time. He works very hard. My brother squatted up with him for a few months back on Complexity and praised his work ethic. You know, he's a thinker. He likes to theory craft a lot about what can be good, what drafts work, and he grinds. So I think it'll certainly help out Tundra, although I will miss Biver. Love that kid too. Players got to stick together.
I will say that my experience with Snaking is that guy makes me feel very dumb about Dota.
Well, it doesn't...
He's like, why aren't you doing this? And I'm like, you're right, I really should be.
Yeah.
All right, Gilger. He's going to be run down here. He's going to just TP away. All right, well, that's nice and clean.
Yep. And this Spirit Breaker pick, this is traditionally the counter to the Bounty Hunter. You know, you grab a Dust, you ever see him on the map, you get a charge off, and it's very easy to take him down. Look to see this Dire lineup place a bunch of high ground ward sentry combinations, because you'll catch him hunting couriers or some such, and then a charge into a TP is almost always going to get you a free kill.
I also like the fact that they're tri-laning at the start, because I always feel like right now when I'm playing 4 position with Darkseer, I just don't really provide that much. It feels like I'm just sharing experience with him and not really providing any pressure. Because he's pushing it into the tower, so it's like as a melee 4, like what am I really going to do with that? So much better for him to get level 3 perhaps, and then maybe you can rotate down there. 33 is going to be chased down right now by Tofu, and if he lands enough of these Fire Spirits, he may actually get the kill. He's still got a Fairy Fire. He's going to pop that one. The last Fire Spirits will not land. He'll survive with 90 health.
Wouldn't have killed him anyway. That damage has been nerfed a bit. When it was 20 damage a tick, it was pretty absurd at level 1. Now only 15, of course. And yeah, the other thing is they've buffed power, armor, and regen so much that you just can't dive. Like, you have a Tusk Darkseer, you're not killing anybody under this tower until like level 4+.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Although it is certainly a struggle. I like this. You know, you just play with the lane mechanics. Snaking's gonna pull and just make this really annoying for Hellbear.
Meanwhile, our mid matchup, we haven't actually talked about that one too much. 9 is going to be playing that mid Beastmaster, trying to take advantage of the bottle situation that's currently happening. Earlier bottles, thanks to a more guaranteed refill with the water runes available. And then on top of that, this is just what people have been kind of experimenting with when it comes to Beastmaster.
Well, we're talking about in the pregame. The Beastmaster got buffed. Yeah, they removed Necro, but you give this hero that already had insane base damage, base armor, move speed, attack animation, BKB piercing ultimate. Mid, it makes a ton of sense. The axe build is very strong. Your damage output is pretty nasty, and Solar Crest is cheaper now. The HOD build's always a possibility, but as you said, the Ags Rush. We've seen it able to solo Roshan with, I don't know how long that'll last, but I dig it.
Yep, and then people are building like E-Blade and even Dagon afterwards just to be able to maximize all that magic damage and the amplification they're getting off of the wild axes. It's pretty crazy and very annoying to deal with. Just constantly this guy throwing out the axes over and over again at you from a very long distance. I believe you would kind of refer to that. Is that a dangle or a tangle? I've lost track. That long distance, low commitment damage?
That's what we call LRC. Which is a totally different strategy concept that goes all the way back to, I think, Toronto in the days of BD Pros 1817 plus champs. The long-range cannons. You combine them together and deal damage from a frame away.
I have no idea what you're referencing, but we're going to have a charge away. 9 is having a bit of a problem with his mana. He's constantly being EMP'd by Stormstormer, and perhaps that's part of the reason that this Invoker is taking a lead in CS in the mid lane.
Yep. It's really nice to play this Invoker against heroes like Spirit Breaker. It's really their only interrupt, so he'll likely have to, it has to be Quas Flex. If not for the Breaker, maybe you can experiment with Exort. It certainly would be better for you in the laning phase, but you need that interrupt on the charge.
Rasmus looks like he got a little too close there to the troll in the top lane. What do you think about the new Dazzle? I'm not convinced by it, but maybe Rasmus will prove something different here as we're going to go back in time here and see what happened to Rasmus. Looks like with the big creep wave coming in, he was feeling himself, ends up getting a little bit caught out by Fada while his support, I believe, was trying to do some pulling, so. Standard offlane stuff. Get a little bit too aggressive while your support's trying to pull.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about the charge. That's a free kill. You mean the Ags on Dazzle?
I mean, they also gave that shard pickup that now like hexes people and stuff.
The shard is cool. I think the Ags is actually pretty nuts. A Dispel that is AoE is pretty absurd, and it also can do some pretty significant damage and heal. Like, it's such a low cooldown spell. You also then get CDR from your ultimate. So it's pretty significant to have a 240 heal nuke on a 6-second or lower cooldown.
Yeah, I just I mean, I'm just not convinced, mostly because of the fact that I feel like the hero would have been good last patch.
With the Necro Book?
With the, you know, now the Necro Books aren't there, and I feel like that was one of the Dazzle's finest items. So, but we'll see. I've only watched it like once or twice. So.
I think something maybe like the Dazzle PL of old could be pretty nasty. But I do agree, it doesn't. That's always been the trouble with Dazzle as a core. What items do you buy? I've seen Holy Lockets, you saw Necro Books, you see Greaves, Solar Crest, Drums. I don't, who knows?
Speaking of Holy Locket, that's another item that got buffed up yet again. They've got good ways to hunt down this bounty hunter, man. Every single time he shows himself, he's getting homing missiles, he's potentially getting charged. Skeeter's helping out quite a bit, being very active at helping his support battle against the bounty.
Disappointed in Rasmus there. Does not drop the Null Talisman to use the Mango. But perhaps that's just the experience, you know? If you drop items on the ground, sometimes things can go awry quickly. The Phoenix also, I just realized, doesn't really have too many answers. Yeah, theoretically troll, get the Beastmaster attack speed, or you can take it down with the BKB, but it's a very good pick, and we saw it used a lot at the major.
You know what you can get, Kyle?
what can you get?
You can get that fancy new shard that the troll has. The what's it called? It's not battle. It's a whole new ability. Rampage or something?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. Rampage!
All
Yeah.
allied heroes, 70 attack speed. Huh.
Yeah, that one's kind of weird.
That's really weird. And it's like, it seems like an Ag's ability, and it's just a shard.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another discussion. We had all these heroes now. You know, first there was that patch where everybody got a scepter. Now everyone has a shard as well. It's like, does something change at 20 minutes? If you pick, you know, you save the gold and hit like a StarCraft timing, it's like, oh no, the Archons are coming, and then you suddenly are finding yourself with the tier 3. No, the Banelings. That's the big timing. You get the tech and then roll into the base. I missed Pro StarCraft.
I never got into StarCraft. I was a Warcraft boy.
Yeah, me too. The Warcraft remaster is still one of the most disappointing launches. Yeah, I was so excited, and then the game just sucked. They didn't even have a ladder. How do you release a game without ladder? What am I playing for, if not raiding?
It's true, they just don't understand gamers at that point. Getting back into this game, I feel like specifically for heroes like Troll and stuff, these carries that don't want to invest their gold into something like a shard because they're thinking about bigger and better items, they don't want to delay. That that's not 20-minute Roshan, but the second Roshan that gives away a shard.
Yeah.
I feel like these extra shard abilities are even more important when you're able to get that shard for free if you get that second Roshan. I feel like these carries are going to be the biggest beneficiaries of something like that.
Yeah, I'm just realizing, check out the net worth. This bottom lane has been a disaster for this Dire lineup. You have an armlet soon to finish on Ace, but you know, Tofu has more net worth than the Darkseer. The Wraith King has been jungling. He's level 8, and he's getting this all out of the woods, whereas Tofu, he's just 1v1 against the Darkseer and dominating. He'll be 6 in a moment. This charge might backfire. There it is. You can't kill him anymore now. This lane is kind of a disaster. Yeah, 3-3 does not have a game.
They're going to swoop in. They're going to try. They might be able to catch him here. Ion Shell, he's got his level 6, but he's got to get the Fire Spirits out on him. No vacuum to stop that dive away.
No, the Spear Breaker hits 6 and immediately then gets the ult off, but there's, like, where's the damage?
Yeah.
What is going to happen off that?
Bottom tower is under
Meanwhile, Tundra going to make a move here to see if they can catch Gilger. Does get dusted, unfortunately, for the boys of Tundra. He is just outside of their vision.
I think Gilger, I mean, could be afraid of the Spirit Breaker, but I would have liked to see him do much like we saw in that previous matchup. Hunt more couriers, you know, high ground, the puppy wards I call them, those deep high grounds on both sides of the jungle. That's how you play this. Every courier is worth like a 0 kill or more.
Well, they don't have level 6 quite yet, but they still managed to find a kill with Gilger there as they're going to try and put some early pressure on this mid lane. Meanwhile, Tofu backing away is going to be able to pop the egg. Did he manage to get both of them? Looks like they are not going to be able to kill that egg. And if anything, the Phoenix is going to be able to get his revenge. Turning around, going on to snaking here. Still has his dive. Oh, no! Oh, they get him just finally. The cold snap there. I thought maybe Stormer was going to pay for a little bit of greediness. Skeeter TPing in to try and defend this mid lane. They're saying the Invoker's not here. We should definitely defend our towers, guys. And 9 with his constant axe spam is going to make them pay for it a little bit. No, actually, Ace doesn't even lose his reincarnation.
Way too tanky with that armlet, even when not toggled on. Just because as well, you have some pretty cool synergy with the, I was about to say the Dazzle and the Troll, but that's not how it works. They're on opposite teams. What were you saying, Cap?
Yeah, that is definitely true. You cannot shallow grave an enemy hero. The game literally will not let you make that mistake, Kyle.
Thank you, Cap. And I gotta say, Hellbear Smasher is looking pretty solid here. The Ags build on Beastmaster, I think, is kind of dependent on being ahead. You know, you can push lanes constantly. You're taking jungle stacks. I don't think it's not. Is it going to win you a fight, right? And consider you're also playing against the EMP Tornado, and I think that's not your priority as Stormstorm. You see Aurora, EMP the Beastmaster. He is no longer a hero in a fight.
100%. I mean, this is a hero that likes long, drawn-out fights. He wants to be able to hit you with the axes 2 or 3 times before he makes the commitment. And Invoker kind of makes it So longer drawn-out fights usually work to his favor thanks to EMP, burning you out of those resources. They're going to apply the missile here. They're going to go for it. Stormer underneath this assault is going to be able to get off the tornado onto two. Snaking is going to be forced away. Bouncing Shuriken, though, has managed to finish him off. They pull back in with vacuum, but it's still not enough to cleanly win this fight. Tundra, once again, forced on the retreat as a second Shuriken comes in. That won't finish off 33, but it'll keep them nice and low. They are desperate, Kyle, to hold on to this mid tower, but I don't think they can anymore.
I don't think so either. This is just dead. This is, you know, we talk a lot about armlet. That's why we saw it so much in the major as well on Lifestealer. When you give it to the Wraith King, same effect. Not only do you have 2 lives, it is the most cost-efficient item in terms of damage survivability. It also buffed a bit. I think there's 40 health gain instead of 50 as it was previously.
Snaking, fearless, but maybe that's not a good thing. Snaking, that charge felt a little pointless.
They have the bounty too. Is that they got track off there, I believe.
Yeah, they're certainly racking up some track kills.
Yeah.
They are now 3,000 net worth ahead on the side of the Smashers. They have better map control. This sort of stuff is certainly going to build up, as I don't think a lineup with this mid Beastmaster and off-lane Darkseer control is really going to be able to play that much together. Nine's going to be caught out, does manage to get off the ground, turns around and goes for it. Goes for the kill on the Stormer, doesn't quite get him, but maybe Fauna can exact a little bit of vengeance here, but the Phoenix Egg is going to go off. Sure, they're going to finish off Stormer, but now they're stuck under the assault of this egg. It's going to explode right on top of the Gyrocopter. They're going to catch up to Snaking as well, with no chance of surviving here. Smashers, once again.
That's so worth it. It's actually good that they didn't EMP the Beastmaster and lose the Invoker, because both of those kills are track gold. I will take a core for 2 supports. Typically you'd say is even, but with track in effect, that's like an extra 500 plus gold that Smashers pick up. Plus they now get a free objective. It is so dangerous. If you're playing against a bounty hunter and there's better team fight on the bounty hunter's side, you just don't really have options anymore.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And yeah, this roar is what not forces this force, but that's what gives them that double TP opportunity. So all this focus is on the bottom lane, but you're fighting into egg. That's never a winning situation.
As a result of all that, Smashers are
track kill. 2 of them.
They're getting a lot of gold now. Their team fight's getting stronger and stronger.
And
Rasmus finishing up the completed mech. They're gonna have a solar crest soon on Bounty Hunter.
That was a terrifying image. Anybody who plays Dota sitting like that is serious.
Oh, did he have
the one leg up? Like
one leg up?
Oh man,
yeah, that's a classic.
Like I remember that Ramses.
Oh,
Ramses known for that.
No.
Beyond godlike.
Both his feet. He's not touching the ground. It's all on the chair.
Yep. Abed, same deal.
Oof.
Ice. What do you know? They make it to a major final. Telling you.
The secret is the knee.
Yep.
It's like Captain Falcon. It's the knee of justice. Gotta watch out for it. It's a killer move. 8-4, 15 minutes in. 15 minutes means that bounty runes are indeed spawning. Got to keep track of that.
Yep. The downside of the Tundra lineup is that other than Spirit Breaker, it's their supports. They don't have a core that really wants to get active, and that can be dangerous. Typically, yeah, you save 3-3 on the Darkseer, but that laning phase did not go well, and Dazzle plus Skeletons, holy crap, this is going to be a really free Roshan. They have a down on anybody? They do indeed on the bounty. He's just chilling mid. Doesn't even need it.
No, he's collecting the extra experience in the mid. He's going to pick up that shard. It comes up to around 20 minutes.
Man, Ace already has a relic. It is very far Wraith King. Skeeter, of course, with the Battle Fury and the Possessed Mask. By far the best neutral item for a troll. You could argue it's even better than anything you get from the second tier. So he'll be able to keep up, and in theory, as the game continues, he'll match up quite well against the Wraith King, but his team is behind. The Ags is up for 9, however, with an Invis rune to boot.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And if Smashers are able to take a tier 2 pretty soon, then they can start racking in that, or taking away the experience from Tundra. What are your thoughts on that? Because I have a theory that's actually, that makes it better to snowball.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
compared to so now you get the kind of experience constantly, right? As opposed to directly at the 10-minute mark.
Oh yeah.
So teams before, when you were behind, you could at least try and make a play, a smoke play, off of like trying to get a tight fight and getting the outpost last second in time for the experience. Now that it's a constant thing, I feel like
it a lot
the
more.
advantage of the winning team.
Yeah,
you like it more?
I think it's better just because in this spot, right? Let's say you take the outpost.
Okay.
It gives Tundra 3 minutes to just make a move and take it back. I like this. I just like more. You also get immediate benefit when you take that map control. You should be rewarded if you kill an enemy tier 2 in 15 minutes instead of 20.
Forced away, snaking. And they do have very good high ground defense. That being said, I feel like a lot of Dota, especially over the last year, teams have gotten really good at not going high ground, Kyle. Teams have gotten really good at just controlling the map and choking people out. So even though Tundra may have this Beastmaster spamming axes non-stop high ground, they can still just control the map. They don't quite do it here, though. They try and rotate to catch the troll and leave Rasmus behind. So maybe not quite the best example of that, but these things happen.
They do. I mean, no. Won't make the joke I was gonna. Big Rasmus.
Big Rasmus, man.
What's happening?
Always happening.
Yeah, man. Go back. It's starting to get a little strange on me. Dota is one of those games I'm sure many fans will understand. Like, you started playing Dota, you never really stopped.
Yeah.
So you look back and you're like, holy crap, it's been 9 years. What happened?
Yeah. And did you play Dota 1?
Only a few
You
games
did a little
as
bit,
an
right?
amateur.
Yeah.
I used to first pick Riki and ask somebody on my team to pull me boots. I carry. And some people would.
Dire's bottom tower
That's great.
is under
Poor
attack.
souls.
Yeah, I was like 11 or 12. Yeah, so Ace, this is how you want to play it though if you're smashers. Just take these towers. You've got so much tempo and pressure. Get your team gold up as much as you can. Continue to force. You have the Aegis on the Invoker, and you can force the enemy all that space. And you should continue. Careful snaking.
Snaking is in right now. Game cold snap, stun raid slowly burnt out. The Axes are doing quite a bit of work here. Tofu's gonna have to dive on out of there. But he should be good. Not even touching.
Yeah, the Aether one's down too. Man, this is just a straight up axe build. The nerf to the mana cost from 80 to 65, it's just absurd. He actually just has infinite axes.
Yeah.
It's sort of like any movie that has some kind of archer. They just ignore the fact that he's shot 100 arrows, and yet his quiver is still somehow full of arrows. In this case,
So you're saying this is more realistic because his axes come back to you?
it's like Thor's hammer. It makes sense.
Yeah, I treat axes like boomerangs all the time. So we're gonna watch Fada step outside of his base and immediately get his head cut off. So they learned their lesson. No more low ground excursions once you're a troll. If you're a troll, you're allowed to step outside the base and try and find a few creeps. As long as you don't get spotted by anybody, but I think he just did. I think Yelger just spotted the troll. Or did he? No, he TP'd back in time. He was pinging him, but yeah, he is going to go for the shard. Have that pretty soon. Snaking. About to get 4-shot by Ace if he stands still any longer.
My allies have earned their kill.
Let's see. Blink next. I like that decision. You really need to have that catch. Well, not really catching you. You need to be able to blink on top of these guys. Get on the gyro. Get on the Darkseer. Even the Beastmaster. Because if you can't close the gap, 9 will just spam axes until your team is dead.
You know, it actually would make more sense if instead of wild axes, they were called tamed axes. Because they come right back. Domesticated axes.
But he is a wild man, so his axes are also wild. And because he is a wild man, he controls, and only he can control them. The same way only 2 other people could pick up Thor's hammer, other than Thor. In the lore, at least. I mean, anyone worthy could.
Yeah, of course, in the lore. I'm surprised that Smashers aren't farther ahead. Maybe that's some of the effect of of our change in economy, right? We had the bounty runes giving less. So now when you do control the map and you are able to get, in this case, both of the bounty runes where it used to be 4, you're actually getting less gold for all that. Wraith has multiple lives to work with here, as he is not going to lose his reincarnation thanks to Shalagrave.
The axes are just insane. Like the roar setup, he knows he's dead because there would be 2 more axes thrown in that time frame. So the Grave has to come out and they disengage. And Smashers, they're not as far ahead as Vultures because they've put a lot of pressure onto these tier 3s. This is the 3rd time they've forced a full team response. They got 800 damage to the top tower and 1400 to the bottom tier 3. So they're chipping away quite nicely, but how much will that matter? Will they look to maybe push high ground hard with the second Aegis? We'll have to find out soon. It will be fading, or has been faded. It can spawn in just a minute. Now a blink on the Invoker as well, so look to see them just get straight onto the back line and try to blow up 9 and the support duo, but he will have a BKB soon, likely in time to defend high ground.
What's Skeeter's item stat at? How's he doing?
About a 50 BKB, nothing crazy, but solid.
So he can fight right now, but the problem is he's currently stuck in the base. Before, at least he was out and about and he was able to kind of find some farm away from the Smashers. But in this situation, where you're all stuck inside your base and your carry is the only one allowed to be able to take any lane creeps that are coming your way, this feels quite bad. And anybody who starts to leave is immediately scouted out by Gilder. And they're going to be able to quickly kill Fada as he dares once again. And I feel like they keep on learning the same lesson. You go outside the base, you're going to die.
This brings me back to 5 days playing with Fly. It's like whenever you're ahead, and you saw them do this in OG throughout most of their major wins, just camp this high ground, right? Control bottom, control mid. You got a box hero, we're going to deal with top inevitably if necessary. And just, they want to leave the base? All right, well, we're attacking it. If they run up high ground, they must die.
So what is the counterplay to this?
It's to shove out top and create some sort of map instability. The trouble is no one on Tundra can really shove waves safely. Like Troll could, but he's going to have to spend a BKB charge if he wants to TP away. And other than that, it's tough. You don't really, you need vision, right? Your initiation is a charge or it's a roar. And you don't have vision in order to make that sort of thing happen.
Well, somebody should show themselves top. Tundra try and come out, but it's not looking so hot. Snaking's pretty much diving in to his death. At this point, I feel like Snaking's almost doing it on purpose. As Gilger is going to be saved by the Shallow Graves. Skeeter's like, well, I got to hit something. So he starts going for the Bounty Hunter. It's going to take a while. But he's got back just in time. Right? He's going to get slowed down. He loses the reincarnation. Skeeter's starting to he's going to pop BKB, pop the ultimate, and just rip into Haze. But he can manage to get off the Supernova and the Shallow Graves. So he's going to stay alive for a while. Plus the stun's going to be able to come in. But Wraith King not able to get off a good armlet towards the end there. Almost immediately dies as the Shallow Grave runs out. Gilger, he's going to be next victim here. No, actually, Snaking wants a little bit more out of that. Managed to get his ultimate onto Rasmus. That way, they get an additional kill, maybe even a little bit more as Tofu. Maybe run down here. Doesn't have an Icarus dive. Snake King, he's got a charge coming up soon, but they got to be careful of this Invoker. So Tundra finally get a win, finally get outside of their base thanks to pretty much Snake King just diving in there with a buyback in his pocket. Unfortunately, that is no dieback for him, but it is also potentially death for Tofu. Gets a charge away. Fortunately, that disarm from Stormer saves his support's life.
Really nice fight there. And yeah, heads up play by Snaking. I'm sure he was aware of and made his team know, look, I will buy back. I'm going to just straight up face check this high ground. I know I'm going to die, but I'm the only one who's going to go.
Got the shard. Really?
He's going to hit the Sunstrike.
But like...
Okay.
I didn't think the shard was that good. But, you know.
I mean, it just guarantees the hit. Can't juke it anymore.
I mean, you kind of can.
Point being, you spend the buyback, but you can see the issue that you're inevitably going to face as Hellbear Smashers. This troll will eat your Wraith King alive. In addition, 3-3 did a good job. He got the Wraith King illusion. So you have that Radiance burn and the mischance being applied. And now we'll just, he just straight up dropped the bomb.
I mean, look how spread out those are. That's my problem with the shard. I
And
feel like
how do those not destroy trees? It's a rolling ball of fire.
all right. Listen, I've seen everybody's complaints about doesn't burn down trees. Guys, it's a fantasy video game with a bunch of wizards and stuff. If it doesn't burn down trees, I think it's more of a buff than a nerf. You kidding me? You know how many times somebody's in you and me go try and juke through trees and you're able to lay down AoE damage through that area? They're stuck in that area for longer because they can't run a straight path.
Sure. But I'm just saying it used to be
Continuity?
It's a flaming ball of fire. Like it should.
What continuity, Kyle?
Didn't it destroy trees in the past?
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
There was a lot of things that used to happen in the past, Kyle. What continuity do you want? What?
Radiant's bottom tower
Let's focus on this
is
high
under
ground
attack.
siege cap. We've got the Aegis on the Invoker. He's gonna actually TP bottom, looking to set up. There's nobody there. But prediction, Skeeter will be there. As expected, he's gonna look to just shove off lanes and eventually be forced to TP back. Sure, Stormer
And
found him.
Radiant's bottom
Stormer,
tower is under
he
attack.
knows what Skeeter's up to. Skeeter, he knows.
Yeah, it's like,
he's gonna
okay.
try and keep some creeps and TP out. Managed to force a lot of people. Look at the enemy. They're getting in there. They've caught some people. They're gonna be able to take down two here as this egg is not gonna last for long. They get scrambled up and thrown apart. They are still gonna try and fight this really.
No way.
They saying no BKB on Skeeter, but I don't know. Okay, two-man tornado. Nice little meatballs coming in. A trio of them. Skeeter is gonna be split up, so won't be able to chase quite as easily.
That was really heads up by Skeeter. As soon as you saw him just kind of notice, I can even see in my mind's eye him laughing. Like, these guys are really trying to, I have BKB, how are they going to kill me? Well, what's their plan here? Even steals a creep wave. And the moment he calls Invoker bot, his team immediately ran forward and cast spells on enemies to find kills. You got to be really disciplined to keep your team alive when you try and make these plays across map against a Spirit Breaker. Because all Snaking has to do is charge you with vision.
Yeah, I feel like that was very chaotic from the Smashers. I felt like they were doing that frantic call. Guys, I got the carry, I got the carry. You know, like, and they're just like mass TPing without like really, thinking it out. You got to know that Tundra's, they're trying to find their way out into the map. The best way for them to do that is to split you up. Smoke's gonna break. Ward and Sentry nicely placed right there. Getting some decent information. There's still more hero smoke, but the BKB is back up for Skeeter. They're gonna run into Yuka. There's some of that ace. The blinking ace immediately gonna be found. Ward up. The Shellgrave is gonna be able to put it time here for Yuka. But surely he's gonna die inside his AoE damage. Gyrocopter is able to finish him off. Ace is being kind of run around here, trying to put some damage onto the troll. Skeeter is gonna turn around, thinking about pop that ultimate. Not quite yet. He's gonna wait until Ace potentially for his second life here. They're actually going to retreat. They're not going to go for it. I thought he was going to once again respond to the ultimate and see if he can beat Ace to a pulse, but decides against it. Instead, they're playing walk-on here on 9. He's just laying the axes into them, constantly throwing them around. The damage is significantly building up. Rasmus stuck on a cliff here. He's going to be partially saved by a tornado, but he's got nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide neither. So Tundra hold the high ground. Daring Smashers come up and fight them. Meanwhile, the axes are flowing. They do have the egg to be able to go out with the dive. Skeeter's going to pop his ultimate. They're going to try to have the egg. They do manage to kill it, but Skeeter, can he deal with Ace and Stormer without his BKB? They still have that Aegis up on Stormer. He can blink forward very aggressively. Go for this kill onto Skeeter. Fada's going to come in through the side here, but he can't really save his carry. He's going to be burned out eventually. Fada, he's not going to last for long. Left the axes, they're building up. Storm, going to lose his life. Fortunately, Reincarnation is back up for the ranking. Now, the second life of both the cores are going to come through a blink forward. Managed to get a nice vacuum round at 33. Meanwhile, 9, he just doesn't have anything left in the tank. Nobody to help him. That's going to be Tundra losing more than 5 with multiple buybacks coming through. Nobody left to have a defense here. That is going to be Smashers taking building.
I can't believe they reinitiated there. Like, they got the Aegis, they got the reincarnate. You have to run. And instead, just both cores died. The same pile of Smashers was running to do something. They didn't have the egg. With the reinitiation they did, huge. Yeah, you kill it off. But it just doesn't matter. Like, your troll's dead out of that. You pop ulti just to be sure that he could take out the egg. And say they would get tier 3s with them, or tier 4s rather. Instead, just 2 racks. Take those.
Have you seen the Hex yet go off from Rasmus? He's got the shard, but I
Just
haven't.
watched that last fight.
Little
Okay. And now the track gold is starting to get ridiculous. It's level 2 track. There were so many kills under the influence. It's like an extra 500 gold per kill. And when you feel these bonuses, it's just... Yeah, before you know it, it's an extra item on every enemy player. Get out of hand quick. That might use Megas.
Tornado to start things off. They're going to try and deal with this Darkseer. Meanwhile, Skeeter is looking and hunting Stormstormer. The Shellbrave is there, but if he can just stay on top of him, maybe they can actually kill this Invoker. There is going to be that egg out there. Skeeter, he doesn't really have anything to do here. He tries in vain to run down a hero, but that is it. And he does have buyback, but they're going to call it. They know it's going to be Megas. They don't really have much of a hope to defend it any longer.